University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello. Two more teams who've already battled hard to get into this quarter-final stage of the competition now have to fight even harder to get out of it, with not one but two victories required before they make the sunlit uplands of the semi-finals. Now, the team from the University of Edinburgh appear to relish a close-run thing, having arrived at this stage with two wins, both by the smallest of margins, 5 points, against Ulster University in round 1 and University College London in round 2. With an accumulated score of 335 and an average age of 22, let's meet the Edinburgh team again.
Hi, I'm John, I'm from Edinburgh, and I'm studying Russian and history.
Hi, I'm Stanley, I'm from Edinburgh, and I'm studying for an MSc in Speech and Language Processing.
And here's their captain.
Hi, I'm Innes, I'm from Glasgow, and I'm doing a PhD in chemistry.
Hi, I'm Philippa, I'm from Oxford, and I'm studying biology.
It was also a close-run thing for the team from Emmanuel College, Cambridge, in their first-round match against St Hugh's College, Oxford, which they won by 170 points to 155, but Strathclyde University let them off rather more lightly with a margin of 105 points to 170. Their accumulated score of 340, therefore, is just 5 points ahead of their opponents tonight. So we may be in for another close match. With an average age of 19, let's meet the Emmanuel team once more.
Hi, I'm Ed, I'm from Manchester, and I study physics.
Hello, I'm Kitty, I'm from Hampshire, and I study Arabic and Hindi.
Here's their captain.
Hi, I'm Alex Mislin. I'm from Islington in North London, and I'm studying politics and international relations.
Hi, I'm James. I'm from Bristol, and I'm reading medicine.
OK, the rules never change, so fingers on the buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10. Which major city links a sunflower whose tubers are eaten as a vegetable?
Emmanuel Chevalier.
Jerusalem?
Jerusalem is correct, yes. Emmanuel College, you get the first set of bonuses. They're on alliteration. Whereat with blade, with bloody blameful blade, he bravely broached his boiling bloody breast. These words appear in the prologue to a play within which play by Shakespeare?
Midsummer Night's Dream has a play within a play.
No, but it's not, you know.
I think it might be. No? Yeah, I think it is.
What are the chances of it coming again?
Shall I say it?
What's you want to say?
A Midsummer Night's Dream?
Correct. It's the prologue to Pyramus and Thisbe, of course. The fair breeze flew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. These words appear in which narrative poem of 1798?
Rhyme with the Ancient Mariner?
Yeah, sure. Rhyme the Ancient Mariner?
Correct. Which early 20th century novel ends with the words, so we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past?
The Great Gatsby.
Correct. Sorry, it was so easy for you. 10 points for this. In a televised interview, which physicist said, I can live with doubt and uncertainty and not knowing? I think it's much more interesting to live not knowing than to have answers which might be wrong. He gives his name to diagrams used in...
Edinburgh Wang.
Feynman?
Richard Feynman is correct, yes. 3 questions on tall statues for you, Edinburgh. What is the 3-word English name of the prominent statue in the Art Deco style dedicated in 1931, which stands at 22.95 degrees south, 43.21 degrees west?
Christ the Redeemer.
Correct. Similar in height to Nelson's column and completed in 1967. A sword-wielding female statue commemorating which battle stands at 48.74 degrees north, 44.53 degrees east?
Is it Stalingrad? Shield, sword. OK.
Stalingrad.
Correct. And finally, which statue stands at 40.68 degrees north, 74.04 degrees west? Built to the design of Bartholdi, it was dedicated in 1886.
Is that right? The Statue of Liberty.
Correct. 10 points for this. The style of visual art known as Gandhara is particularly associated with what religion? The style developed from the 1st century BCE in present-day Pakistan and eastern Afghanistan.
Emmanuel Darby.
Hinduism.
Anyone like to buzz from Edinburgh?
Edinburgh Heaton Armstrong.
Zoroastrianism.
No, it's Buddhism. 10 points for this. Described by the French socialist Jean Jaurès as the language of a defeated nation, which 6-letter term is defined by the OED as a dialect spoken by the people of a particular region which is considered to differ from the standard...
Edinburgh Heaton Armstrong.
Pidgin.
No, the standard or orthodox version. You lose 5 points, by the way, Edinburgh. Sorry. Anyone want to buzz from Emmanuel?
Emmanuel Chevalier.
Patois.
Patois is correct, yes. These bonuses are on psychology, Emmanuel. The murder of which woman in New York in 1964 inspired research into the bystander phenomenon because it was commonly believed that more than 30 witnesses to the event did nothing to intervene.
Is it Kitty Genovese?
Nominate Derby.
Kitty Genovese.
Correct. In a piece of research now notorious for its unethical processes, which behaviourist psychologist worked with his assistant Rosalie Rayner to instill certain fears into a baby they nicknamed Little Albert?
This came up, didn't it?
Skinner.
Skinner.
No, it's John B. Watson. And finally, the subject of the film The Three Faces of Eve. Chris Costner Sizemore is one of the best-known people to have been given what controversial diagnosis known today as dissociative identity disorder?
I think so. Schizophrenia.
No, it's multiple personality disorder. 10 points for this. Characterised by Chambers' dictionary as archaic or jocular, which word formed by conjoining a pronoun and a verb appears at the start of John of Gaunt's speech in Shakespeare's Richard II that continues, I am a prophet new inspired. Its meaning is, I am of the opinion that...
Edinburgh Carson.
Methinks.
Methinks is correct. These bonuses are on islands. Firstly, for 5 points, the territory of Chile in the South Pacific. Which island group is named after a Spanish navigator who landed there in the 1570s? It contains individual islands that bear the names of Alexander Selkirk and Robinson Crusoe.
Juan Fernandez Islands.
Juan Fernandez Islands.
Correct. Often said to have been named after the leader or leaders of a Portuguese naval expedition in the 16th century, which atoll in the British Indian Ocean Territory is the largest in the Chagos archipelago?
Diego Garcia.
Diego Garcia.
Correct. And finally, part of a British overseas territory, which island group in the South Atlantic is named after the Portuguese sailor who discovered it in 1506?
Tristan da Cunha.
Tristan da Cunha.
Tristan da Cunha is correct. You take the lead. We're going to take a picture round now. For your picture starter, you'll see a still from a film. 10 points if you can give me its title.
Edinburgh Carson.
Pulp Fiction.
No, anyone like to buzz from Emmanuel? No? OK, I'll tell you, that's from My Beautiful Laundrette, so we'll take the picture bonuses in a moment or two. 10 points at stake for this starter question. Working in a rural hospital during World War II, the Dutch physician Wilhelm Kolff is credited with the invention using sausage casings and orange juice cans.
Edinburgh Stone.
Dialysis.
No. Afraid you lose 5 points. Using sausage casings and orange juice cans are the first artificial form of which organ of the human body?
Emmanuel Fraser.
Kidney.
Kidney is correct, of course. So you get the picture bonuses following on from My Beautiful Laundrette. It was a forerunner of what the critic B. Ruby Rich named the new queer cinema movement of the late 80s and early 90s. Your picture bonuses are 3 more films representative of this movement. 5 points for each you can identify. Firstly, for 5, this is a promotional still from which documentary of 1990?
Do you have any idea? Like, pass.
That was Paris is Burning. Secondly, this film of 1991.
Oh, it's Stand By Me.
Is it? You sure?
No.
Stand By Me is about kids.
It's Phoenix and Keanu Reeves. Oh, Stand By Me.
No, that's My Own Private Idaho, Gus Van Sant's reworking of Henry IV. Finally, this film of 1992.
It's not Orlando.
Maybe was there a film like that?
I've no idea. That's stupid thing to say. Not Orlando.
Orlando is correct. Sally Potter's adaptation of Virginia Woolf's novel. Right. 10 points for this. Listen carefully, give your answers promptly. In addition to Oxford, 3 English cities appear within the names of spaces on the standard UK version of the board game Monopoly. Name 2 of them.
Edinburgh, Heaton Armstrong.
Kent.
Anyone like to buzz from Emmanuel?
Emmanuel Chevalier.
Coventry and Leicester.
Correct. Liverpool is the other one, as in Liverpool Street Station. Right, your bonuses now, Emmanuel College, are on the sciences. What 2-word term denotes the coiled structure of an extended polypeptide chain discovered by Linus Pauling in 1948? It has 3.6 residues per turn.
Nominate Fraser.
Alpha helix.
Correct. Expressed as a number between 0 and 1, what alpha is the name of an index used in psychometric testing to measure the internal consistency of a test or scale? It's named after the US researcher who developed it in 1951.
Do you want to be like Spearman's? Is it Spearman's? Isn't that just statistics, isn't it? I mean, I don't know.
What was it? Pearson.
Spearman's coefficient.
Spearman's coefficient.
No, it's Cronbach's alpha. And finally, the alpha brainwave has what alternative name after the German scientist who invented the electroencephalograph, or EEG?
I don't know. When are we talking?
I don't know. James. Pass.
It's Hans Berger. 10 points for this. Mozart and Salieri, the Cossack insurgent Pugachev, Vladimir Lenski, and an equestrian statue of Peter the Great are characters in works by which literary...
Edinburgh, Heaton Armstrong.
Alexander Shostakovich. That's
No,
not Shostakovich, is it?
I'm afraid you lose 5 points. I'm going to offer it to you, Emmanuel. You can hear the whole thing. Literary figure. He was killed in a duel in 1837.
Emmanuel Chevalier.
Pushkin.
Pushkin is correct, yes. 3 questions on the 7 churches of Asia as described in the book of Revelation, Emmanuel College. In Revelation, which of the 7 churches is addressed with the words, "Thou hast left thy first love"? A major commercial centre of the Roman province of Asia, its remains lie near Selçuk in western Turkey.
I mean, I think you're doing this on your own now. Galatia. Ephesus.
Come on.
Ephesus.
Correct. Which of the churches is described as lukewarm and neither hot nor cold? Thomas Hardy used a form of its name in the title of a novel of 1881.
Like D'Urberville. Come on, just give me something.
Hebrews. Is that a thing?
Hebrews.
No, it's Laodicea. And finally, which church is described as having kept my word and hast not denied my name? It shares its Greek-derived name with one of the largest cities in North America.
Large cities.
North America, like Toronto or Ottawa. Toronto, does that sound like plausible? Like Vancouver? I don't know, mate.
Try that.
What?
Is there a coin? No.
Nominate Fraser.
Toronto.
The Church of Toronto. No, it's Philadelphia. Right, we're going to take a music round now. For your music starter, you're going to hear an aria from an opera. For 10 points, just identify its composer, please.
Edinburgh Stone.
Puccini.
No, anyone like to buzz from Emmanuel? You can hear a little more.
Emmanuel Fraser.
Bizet.
No, it Softly Wakes My Heart from Samson and Delilah by Camille Saint-Saëns. So, music bonuses in a moment or two. Another starter question. The Oyo Empire and the Aro Confederacy were historical states that lay largely within the territory of which present-day country? The latter was defeated by Britain early in the 20th century.
Edinburgh Wang.
Afghanistan.
No, anyone like to buzz from Emmanuel College?
Emmanuel Mislin.
Japan.
No, it's Nigeria. Right, 10 points for this. Listen carefully, I need a 7-letter word here. In his treatise on the equilibrium of planes, Archimedes outlined the importance of what mechanical component, the support or pivot of a lever?
Edinburgh Carson.
Fulcrum.
Fulcrum is correct, yes. So you'll be thrilled to hear you get the music bonuses. We heard Saint-Saëns earlier as a starter. That piece was written for the mezzo-soprano Pauline Viardot as a performer, teacher, composer and leader of a Paris salon. She was an important influence on many now better-known composers. Firstly, for 5, can you give me the composer of this work Viardot gave its premiere in 1870?
It sounds a bit like Wagner, if you ask me, but it's the name of the work.
Do not know the name of the work.
Is it the opera or just the... What were we asked for?
For the composer.
Oh, so
It's just
I
composer,
don't
isn't
know.
it?
So go on.
Is it Wagner?
No, it's Brahms' Alto Rhapsody. Secondly, I want the composer of this work, one of several he dedicated to Viardot.
Schubert, do you think? It could be. I don't know what it is. Schubert, I think he said.
Oh.
Yeah, should we try? We'll try Schubert.
No, that's Feury's Chanson du Pêcheur. And finally, here I want the name of this operatic role, rewritten in French for Viardot by Hector Berlioz.
That would be in French, and that would be in the French in the first place,
Yeah,
wouldn't
it's
it be?
music. Oh, yeah, true. So
Yeah.
it can't be that.
Do you have any thoughts?
No, sorry.
Tosca.
No, it's Orpheus. 10 points for this. Which 3 letters begin the names of the elements between titanium and chromium in the periodic table? The country...
Emmanuel Fraser.
VAN.
VAN is correct, yes. You get a set of bonuses on the playwright Laura Wade. Wade is perhaps best known as the author of which play first staged at the Royal Court Theatre in 2010 and later adapted as the film The Riot Club. It concerns a privileged Oxbridge club similar to the Bullingdon.
Posh.
Posh is correct. In 2003, Wade adapted for the stage Young Emma, a memoir by which Welsh author whose other works include the autobiography of a supertramp?
Don't know. Dylan Thomas, the author. Dylan Thomas.
No, it's W.H. Davis. In 2015, which novel did Wade adapt for the stage? The debut novel of Sarah Waters. It follows the lives of the musical performers Kitty Butler and Nan King.
I don't know. Do you know?
She wrote the instance of the finger post, I think, but I don't think it's that. Oh, she did.
Sarah Waters.
I don't know.
Pass.
It's Tipping the Velvet. 10 points for this. With about 30,000 species, teleosts are a diverse infraclass of what general type of vertebrate, distinguished by having...
Edinburgh Carson.
Fish.
Fish is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on Chaim Weizmann, the first president of Israel and a noted chemist. Weizmann was born in the Russian Empire in 1874, not far from the city of Pinsk. In what present-day country is Pinsk?
Do you have an idea?
I think it's in Belarus.
We'll just try that. Belarus.
Correct. In 1915 in Manchester, Weizmann developed a process known as ABE fermentation for use in the manufacture of munitions. For what common solvent does the letter A stand in this case?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, sure. Alcohol.
No, it's acetone.
Oh, don't worry.
And finally, a shortage of grain for acetone production led to an exploration of other sources. This included organised collections, for example, by Boy Scouts, of what nut-like seeds, which are inedible usually to humans.
Could it be beech nuts?
Maybe. I don't have anything else to
don't know
suggest.
what they
Anyone?
are.
No. Beech nuts.
No, they're conkers or horse chestnuts. Beech
okay.
nuts are definitely edible. 10 points for this. Which French sociologist introduced the term anomie to describe that condition in which norms for conduct are either absent, weak or conflicting in his groundbreaking study in 1897, Suicide?
Edinburgh Carson.
Durkheim.
Durkheim is right. Your bonuses now are on human prehistory, dated to around 200,000 years before the present. Early remains of Homo sapiens were discovered in 1967 in the Omo River Valley in which East African country?
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia.
Correct. Described as being among the oldest anatomically modern humans in Africa, other early remains have been unearthed at Jebel Irhoud in which Mediterranean country?
I don't know that at all.
No, I think it's Israel.
I'm happy with
I
that.
don't know.
I'm not really sure, but
Israel.
No, it's Morocco. The cave paintings at Lascaux in southern France are estimated by radiocarbon dating to be how old? You can have 2,000 years either way.
Not this
wouldn't know
famous
where to
idea.
start.
Sorry.
40,000, is that what we're saying?
40,000.
No, it's 17,000.
Okay.
Right, we're going to take a second picture round. For your picture starter, you're going to see a portrait of a literary figure. 10 points if you can identify him.
Edinburgh Wang.
John Donne.
No, anyone like to buzz from Emmanuel?
Emmanuel Chevalier.
Is it Molière?
No, it's not. It's Jonathan Swift. So we'll take the picture bonuses in a moment or two. 10 points at stake for this. Who was proclaimed King of England during his return journey from the Ninth Crusade? Having visited his lands in France, he landed in England almost 2 years later, his coronation taking place in August 1274.
Emmanuel Fraser.
Edward I.
Correct. You get the picture bonuses. In 1973, the International Astronomical Union named a crater on Deimos after Jonathan Swift, who was the geezer you failed to identify. He speculated in Gulliver's Travels that Mars had 2 small satellites. Your picture bonuses are 3 more writers who've had Martian craters named after them in recognition of their speculative fiction. Firstly, for 5, who's this?
Asimov, maybe?
Yeah, I should go that. Asimov.
Asimov is correct. The Martian Way is an early example of a terraforming story set on Mars. Secondly,
Truman Capote.
Is it BB? Did he do speculative fiction?
I don't know. Just
I'm not sure.
Truman Capote.
Truman Capote. No. It's Edgar Rice Burroughs who wrote a series of novels centering on a Martian adventurer. And finally,
That looks like Kafka, doesn't it? Or is it not?
That's not Kafka, is it?
Should we say Kafka?
No.
Well, who is it then?
What? No, I don't.
Kafka.
doesn't look at all like him. No, it's H.G. Wells. Well, of course, Mars was the source of the invasion in the War of the Worlds. Right, we're going to take another starter question now. René Antoine de Réaumur explained how different alloys of what metal could be distinguished by the amount of carbon they contained.
Edinburgh Carson.
Iron.
Iron is correct. You get a set of bonuses on Angela Merkel. Born in Hamburg, Angela Merkel entered which East German university in 1973? Founded in 1409, its noted other alumni include Leibniz, Goethe and Wagner.
What's the really good one that's near to Berlin? It's I've got a friend that's... No,
Do we have any idea?
I can't remember. It's going to... I'm going to kick myself.
Sorry. Potsdam.
No, it's Leipzig. In 2000, Merkel became the first woman and the first non-Catholic to lead which political party? I need the 3-word name either in English or German.
Democratic Union, is that right? Christian Democratic Union.
Correct. In 2013, Merkel became the third 3-time Chancellor of post-war Germany. Give the surnames of both the other 2.
I'm not much help here, I'm afraid.
Helmut Kohl. Was anything Kohl?
Helmut Kohl and Adenauer Schmidt or Schmidt.
And Kohl.
Okay. Schmidt and Cole.
No, it's Konrad Adenauer and Cole.
Sorry.
Don't worry.
10 points for this. What given name is shared by the creator of the Duke's cancer classification system, the Vice Admiral who took charge of the British fleet at Trafalgar after the death of Nelson, and a 7th century saint who became Bishop of Lindisfarne?
Edinburgh Stone.
Cuthbert.
Cuthbert is correct, yes. These bonuses are on dinosaurs of the late Jurassic period. In each case, name the dinosaur from the description. Firstly, which quadrupedal herbivorous dinosaur had bony plates embedded in the skin of its back and a name meaning roof lizard?
I think it's
Stegosaurus or
Brachiosaurus' arms, isn't it?
Okay, so
Stegosaurus.
Correct. Which carnivorous dinosaur has a name meaning other lizard or different lizard?
Xenosaur, I don't know. Allosaur?
Allosaurus?
Allosaur,
Yeah, go with that.
Allosaur.
Allosaurus is
Yeah.
correct, yes. And finally, which quadrupedal herbivorous dinosaur grew to more than 26 metres in length and has a name meaning double beam?
Diplodocus.
Yeah.
Diplodocus.
Diplodocus is correct. 10 points for this. Having taken the silver medal 3 times previously, which country won the men's Olympic football tournament for the first time in...
Emmanuel Mislin.
Argentina.
No, you lose 5 points, I'm afraid, when they beat Germany in a penalty shootout in 2016 in the final.
Edinburgh Wang.
Brazil.
Brazil is correct, yes. You get a set of bonuses on European history this time, Edinburgh. Characterised by rising levels of inflation and unemployment, the phrase "the 2 red years" refers to the period from 1919 to 20 in which European country?
Weimar?
I'm not sure. It could either be the Weimar Republic or if it was only 2 red years, then.
Let's have it, please.
Did you say something?
Hungary.
No, it's Italy. Under its Italian name of Fiume, which present-day Croatian city was made a free state by the First Treaty of Rapallo in 1920?
We're hearing Dubrovnik here, is that?
Guessing.
No, we just have to try something.
It's Zadar.
Zadar.
No, it's Rijeka.
Okay.
And finally, which treaty of 1929 established the Vatican City under Pope... And that would go on. Emmanuel College, Cambridge have 110, Edinburgh have 125. Well, you just had it snatched from your grasp at the end there, Emmanuel. You know, that's how it goes. Thank you very much for joining us. You've got to play and win twice more to stay in the competition. Edinburgh Uni had to play once more to stay in the competition. Congratulations to you. I hope you can join us next time for another quarter-final match. But until then, it's goodbye from Emmanuel College, Cambridge.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Edinburgh University.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.